Greetings and salutations. Please enjoy. Meiji Restoration was the government reformation of Japan, which occurred in the later half of the 19th century. During this period, the political ruling system of Japan was reformed. The class of the shogun was abolished, the position of the emperor was reinstated, Emperor Meiji was the emperor at the time, and new school systems were established to educate the public further. The Restoration reorganized Japan's army based on the Prussian military model. The agricultural tax funded the new schools, military, and new government model. These new high taxes stimulated major economic growth in the nation and caused them to seek after more territories. The goal of the Meiji Restoration was to reform the government to mirror the Western powers and to educate the general public. Question 2. How did Japan gain parts of China, Korea, Taiwan, and parts of Southeast Asia and Pacific Islands? Through the Sino-Japanese War, Japan sought to expand its land by attacking China to claim the territory. Japan easily overpowered their outdated forces and caused China to get aided by England for help. In the 1895 Treaty of Shimonoseki, China ceded its territories and recognized Korea as an independent state. The Sino-Japanese War was a war over territorial control and expansion.
Towards the end of the Second Opium War, the Treaty of Tension was signed, an unfair treaty imposed on the Chinese that would open the ports more to foreign trade, would allow foreign legislations into the capital of Beijing, and allowed Christian ministries to be active and would legalize the import of opium. This would be unfair to the Chinese and would not benefit them at all, unlike how it would benefit the other signers of said treaty, the Russian Empire, French, United Kingdom, and United States. America wouldn't be as involved, but would later become one of the leading treaty powers, opening 23 foreign concessions from the Chinese government, giving them more control and power. They would share this with the British, and this would give them more spheres of influence. Spheres of influence being when a state or nation has complete sole authority and control over a foreign area and or territory. This would be how most imperial powers would gain more power and influence and grow their economy.
What were the causes and effects of the Opium War, first and the second? The First Opium War was caused by the British East Indian Company's push to sell opium, which created an imbalance with silver coming from China. The Qing government tried to shut it down in 1839. The British power, however, defeated China. The Treaty of Nanjing, China, opened a trade ports in Hong Kong, Britain. This played for a substantial indemnity. Some causes for the Second Opium War, aka known as the Arar War, started in 1856, ended in 1860. These disagreements were started over trade and rights of foreigners in China. France also joined. China lost more foreign privileges than ever. Some effects of the both Opium Wars were that it was bad for China and also China was sad. This opened treaties for foreign ports and influenced exploitation. The Qing dynasty also had no authority whatsoever. The economy ravaged, big debt to pay, humility, instability, rebellion. Also, not to mention, China's technological and military was completely backwards. Britain's dominance was in region, toffee trade, and brought many economic benefits to Britain but not to China. This for, as we know it, shaping the modern course of Chinese history. Question 4. What was the Treaty of Nanking and how did the signers feel about it? The Treaty of Nanking was signed in 1842, stating that the First War was unequal, favoring Britain. This forced to cede Hong Kong Island instead of perpetuity. This also opened 5 ports, paid large indemnity. British people also had Extraterritorial. China was also under British law and not under their own. Securing trade and power, Chinese government and people humiliation exposed vulnerability. This, therefore, marks the beginning of a national decline and exploitation. This treaty starts resentment and anti-foreign hate that would burden China for decades.
The causes and effects of the Taiping Rebellion. The causes. Economic distress. The Opium Wars with Britain had led to a significant decline in China's economy, causing widespread poverty and unemployment. Government corruption. The Qing dynasty was seen as corrupt and